Warning, I swear a lot. Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to the Mech Locker. So, I've actually played quite a bit of Armored Core since last time, so I have a few updates on my builds to go through before we move on to today's client. And I've got a good feeling about it, but we'll see how it goes. I'll probably fuck it up. You know me. But first of all, I've been really playing around with a lot more different kinds of builds, because obviously I've got my dual pistol build, which I've ran with for most of the game, but like, it became more and more apparent to me that, like, in terms of certain encounters in the game really does want you to switch things up. It's not a case of, like, pick your build and try and do what you can with it. The game's like, no, switch it up. Switch to weapons that will work. Don't just ram your face into an encounter with the weapons that you think you should stick with. Play with your options. So first of all, this is the current state of the warning. We're on Mark 5 now, and this is the warning. I'm quite pleased with it. I've started, and for a while I wasn't really using weathering effects. Now I'm using a lot of weathering effects, and I really like how this looks. Very pleased with it. Twin coquillettes, a missile launcher on the back, and a backup stun baton. Soften them up with the pistols to stagger them, pepper them with missiles to soften them up a bit. When they stagger, switch to the baton, go for the kill. It does pretty well. Usually for one-on-one AC fights, it's astoundingly effective. Struggles a bit in long-form missions because of ammo, because the pistols do run out fairly quickly. And against multiple ACs, it's a struggle because the pistol build is really designed to focus on one target. But for your standard one-on-one fight to the death, it works pretty fucking well, must be said. And I also learned, thanks to a very useful comment, that the different brands of generators actually produce different thruster colors. I even took notes on my computer as to which brand does which color, so that we can actually apply that when we're making our mechs, try and pick the thruster color that best suits the mech itself. But we'll get to that in a minute. So that's Warning. Y'all know Warning, it's going pretty well. I have since made variants. We have the Warning DFA type. Oh no, do not oversave that. That would have been a disaster. Yeah, Warning DFA, I'll let you figure out what that means, but this is my tetrapod design, which is pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I like it. This is very effective and very fun to play as, but it's got a smaller, like, I'm not sure if this counts as a railgun. It's a linear rifle, which I kind of like railguns. They're pretty cool, honestly, but the Curtis, which is a smaller railgun, what the fuck is this even? Yeah, pulse blade, standard pulse blade because it's damn effective, and twin double-linked songbirds on the back for just an overwhelming amount of firepower. Like, a full volley from 2 sets of songbirds can stagger almost anything. It's extremely effective, you just have to make sure you hit. This thing's very cool. I like it a lot. Next, we have the Warning HA type. Once again, I'll let you try and figure out what these actually mean. And this one is a little bit interesting. First of all, it's big as fuck, and I didn't try to make it silly big as fuck, I tried to make it cool big as fuck, and I think I've pulled it off. This one has the larger linear rifle, aka railgun, or rail rifle, I suppose would be more the descriptor for it, alongside a plasma thrower, which is basically like an energy whip, which is a very cool weapon with a lot of range on it, and on the back it has large missile launchers. It is tanked out with thick plating, and the legs are actually double jointed, or reverse jointed, sorry, to allow it much more mobility than would first seem like it would have. You know, it doesn't look like it would actually move very fast, and indeed it doesn't move fast per se, but it leaps around the battlefield, which is actually very handy. So that's very cool. Very happy with that. I love that thing. Then I started branching out into mechs that are not the Warning, but my own designs, playing around with ideas to see what I could come up with, and I'm quite pleased with both of these. First of all, we've got the Justitia. I like the Justitia. I like all of them because I made them. The Justitia is fucking huge. Look at this thing. It is majestic, it is elegant, it is damn effective. With a plasma rifle, an arm-mounted plasma rifle. I think, did I also give this the plasma thrower? Yes, I did, because the plasma thrower suits this very well as well. And on the back, it has twin laser cannons for just extra energy-based firepower. It has these legs, which count as tank treads, but are actually very effective for fighting in the air. This gives it a lot of hang time in the air, which is great. This thing's very cool. It may probably mostly for show, but it fights pretty well. I actually field tested all these different variants and types of mechs quite a bit to see if they actually worked, and they do. And finally we have Division. And I've only used Division on one mission, which was an assassination mission, and he did very well. Division is a little edgy, but I really like him. I really like Division. He's very cool. So he's armed with an assault rifle, but a sort of single shot, long-range one, obviously to kind of emulate a sniper rifle, as it were, for long-range engagements. On the other side, it has a laser dagger for fast sweeping attacks to capitalize in close range. On the back, it has a stun needle launcher, which does decent damage and can also fry the systems of opposing ACs, good for incapacitating targets before taking them out, and a large missile launcher to harass opponents. Reverse jointed legs naturally, this thing moves pretty damn quick. It's very cool. I used it on one mission, which was, like I said, assassination, and the target didn't stand a chance. It was decisive. Especially thanks to that stun needle launcher, actually, very cool weapon. But yeah, that's what I've been working on in my spare time. That's what I've been playing around with. And at the moment, between, you know, Warning Mark 5, DFA, HA, Justicia, and Division, HA is actually my favorite. I love playing as HA. Something about it, it's definitely not my best model, right? I'd say probably DFA or maybe Justicia are probably superior mechs, but HA is fun to play. He has such a presence, he has so much weight to his movements, and he fights well. You just gotta learn how to do it, and I truly believe that a lot of combinations of stuff in this game can work. You just need to learn how to do it. And making these has been helpful because it gives me some experience with AC types that I never really played with. I've literally been rocking dual pistols on a light to medium build for most of the game. That's mostly what I've been doing. I figured it was time to really change things up, and I'm really happy with these models. But as much as I love to wax lyrical about my creations, they're not what we're here to focus on today. Also, and I'll remind myself to do this at the end of the episode, I will be sharing all of these to the database of like Armored Core 6, so you can use codes to load these ACs in your own games. So if you want to play with these mechs, I'll put the mech locker designs there as well. If you want to play with these, go right ahead and use whatever I make. You can use anything I make on here for your own purposes, whatever you want. If you can't find something, come to the Discord and ask me, or post a comment and ask me, and I'll provide you with the details. Anything you want. I can't imagine you'd be that desperate for these designs. They're not that amazing, but if you like them, they're all yours. You know, I like the idea of other people being able to play with them. But let's get on with today's commission, because it's a pretty cool one. Today's commission comes from Qubit, and there are two parts to this, and the second part will change some of the details from the first one, so bear with it if it doesn't sound like it makes sense. Also, this person doesn't play Armored Core 6, so if you're like, well, that item's not in the game, yeah, they probably know by now. They made this commission like a few weeks ago or so, or a week ago, I don't remember. Point is, I know what they say that's in here and isn't, and I will be applying some of my own knowledge to try and make their vision a reality, even if it does kind of contradict the direct wording of what they've said, alright? But let's get into it. Qubit says, I have no idea how Armored Core works, but if I had to make a mech, it would be a small, yellow-painted, and very mobile machine with a comically large railgun. I love tiny characters with oversized weapons. After some consideration, I've come to the conclusion that a katana or an equivalently epic blade would be great as a backup shoulder weapon in case an enemy gets too close. As for the fighting style, the mech would be a de facto glass cannon, moving quickly to an advantageous position, firing the big gun, TM, and quickly retreating back to safety. Color palette would be yellow-white, with yellow as a primary color for details and important body parts. Meanwhile, white for larger and more generic body parts. Design should be either be a bright orange, the default one works, or a blue to contrast the main colors. Continuing on, if the drone launcher works passively, then use it instead of the sword, and finally, replace the white with black and name it the Hornet. So today we're building the Hornet. Now, some of their design choices, as it were, are going to be difficult to implement. I'm glad they moved away from the katana because that doesn't exist in the game. I'm just as disappointed as you are, but unless you get that in like the end of New Game Plus or the end of New Game Plus Plus or something, because I'm still in New Game Plus, as far as I can tell, there is no katana. I hope there is, but I'm not holding out hope. We will start with the initial, like, you know, build of the mech itself. They want something small and very mobile. They don't specify bipedal, but I feel like that's kind of implied because this would cause it to go like a fucking rocket, but I'm not sure if that's quite what they were going for. I'm going to try and adhere to the spirit of what they're asking for rather than just the word of it. So, if we were to look through these, like... reverse joint really does seem like the way to go if we want to make something quick, does it not? We're going to actually be making something quite similar to Division, I imagine. It will probably look quite similar as well, but I'm hoping to perhaps throw some, some details on there to make it stand out. The color scheme will obviously be different. We'll go VP46D for the arms, because it's got a good balance of weight and firearm specialization, because obviously firearm specialization is going to be damn useful for this thing, because it, is a glass cannon that is focused more on ranged weaponry, especially those rail guns, which is going to be tricky to apply to this thing, actually, because weight is an issue. Weight is definitely going to be an issue, but maybe if we make everything small enough, make everything light enough, we might actually be able to make that work. So I reckon Naxxrayer torso, it's nice and light. The head, do we have anything that's like Hornet-esque, Wasp-esque? Like that has the eyes, which could be a bit of a vibe. We need to, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Let's get a good angle on it so we can actually see. That would be bug-like. That also kind of works in a bug-like fashion. I don't know, maybe. That is kind of insectoid, and it is very light. That's the lightest head of them all, but I don't know. I don't really think that fits the vibe. We've got to think about the vibe. That would be pretty cool, but it's not particularly light, and it's a scanning head, which I don't really think is what we're going for. I mean, that is bug-esque, but once again, it's not light. Although, I don't know, I kind of like that, actually. Got a kind of, Queen of the Hive kind of look to it. Then again, this is an attack drone, this is more of a worker. I think the Naxxrayer head would probably suit it better. Yeah, I think this fits. Okay. So, they want a comically large railgun. This is known. Now, energy shortfall is not an issue. We'll be able to work with that afterwards. The problem is there is not really anything here that qualifies as a railgun, or at least I don't have anything along those lines yet. The closest thing we have to an actual functioning like a railgun would be the Harris. But that's a rifle, and it's not a comically large weapon, really. It's a rifle, it's a big rifle for sure, but it doesn't quite fit the criteria. I don't think. Now, in my mind, and I hope this is in line with what they want as well, we're either going to want the stun needle launcher, the laser cannon, or the diffuse laser cannon. Because that is comically large. In fact, the diffuse laser cannon is probably the most comically large of them all. So I suppose we will go with that, because that does fulfill the criteria of what they wanted. And if we use the charge shot on it, that will dish out an absurd amount of damage. They mentioned they wanted drones. Let's sort them out with some drones. I think I have them on the right back, but not on the left back. That's fine, we'll work around it. Drones also pursue enemies, allows the user to effectively outnumber their target. Yeah, we'll go laser drone, that's good. And then on this side, we'll go diffuse laser cannon. Cool, okay, right. Now we need to think about what it's going to do for its hands. Now, Qubit hasn't specified anything along these lines. The main focus was, the fucking railgun. I'm thinking this thing could probably do with a blade, and I'm thinking a laser dagger, something small and quick. And then probably a gun in its right arm of some kind. But we need to take weight into consideration because it's getting slower and slower with every addition I make. Although we haven't played with the boosters yet, and we might be able to do something there. I think for the right-hand gun, right, because we have to focus on the timing for the railgun, as it were, the laser cannon. We could try and get a linear rifle for the right hands to like have another charge-up weapon that's kind of like a railgun, but trying to concentrate on multiple charge weapons simultaneously in the middle of combat just guarantees you're gonna fuck up, or at least it does for me. I can't handle all that. So, you know, against the hype choice, as it were, of doing that, I'm instead gonna get Ransetsu RF, which will be just generally the weapon that plinks away at the enemy during combat in case the laser cannon misses, in case the drones aren't really, you know, doing their job. Something to trade fire, basically. That's what we want. So if we're going... Well, first of all, let's start with the booster. How far... Oh, we can go pretty fucking fast. We get that and see if we can make it work, because if so, this thing will absolutely zip along. We're going to want long-ranged, although I'd say it's probably easier to, Let's say, yeah, that's pretty balanced. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty balanced. We're going to need one fucker of a generator to keep this thing going. Do we even have a generator that can support this? No. Okay, so we're gonna have to make some sacrifices. I don't particularly want to make sacrifices to the targeting computer, or the targeting system, because that's quite important for making the guns work, but... This thing is principally designed to reduce missile lock time. I think we should keep that and maybe sacrifice the boosters a little. Let's try and get the best generator we can in terms of EN shortfall. It would be that, but we would be overburdened. It's either going to be VP20D or IBCO3. I'm going to go with that because Rubicon Research Institute generators produce a red flame, which I think will go really well with the yellow and black. Will it? Probably. But yeah, we need to play around a little bit more. We could get these boosters, but that would slow us down significantly. Then again, they want speed, right? But speed does not specifically have to come from the boosters, you know what I mean? Fortunately, in many cases, we're still overburdened. Okay, so in terms of this, EN shortfall, okay, so we could have that, or... Well, we can have that. Okay, well, let's see if we can lose some weight somewhere. Perhaps we don't need a Ransetsu. That might be a bit big. So what's the range on this thing? Ideal range, 105. Ooh. The problem is, when we're dealing with when we're trying to lower weight as much as we are, we start to become really limited on our options for long range. The melee weapon we've got is like the lightest melee weapon in the game. We're not going to do much better than that, although we can have a look. I mean, there is one lighter melee weapon. It's called using your fists, but that doesn't really feel like the thing to do. Now, we could get a coquillette, but on its own is not particularly effective. Honestly, I think the Ransetsu is a good choice. We kind of want a gun like that, which means we're going to have to make a compromise somewhere. I would use the mine baser, but the problem is, look at the material of the actual legs. It's different from the upper body, so I fear that'll lead to, like, coloring issues. We'll figure it out. But with that change, we might actually be able to get better boosters. Maybe not super better boosters, but better ones. Okay, well, we can improve our boost speed to 312. Alright, cool. And then we'll get, I don't know, terminal armor, because I don't have to think about using it. So, Ransetsu AR, which is a burst assault rifle, a laser dagger, laser drones, a diffuser cannon, Noctrea head, Noctrea torso, VP460 arms, Mind Beta legs. This could work. It could also not. We'll see. But yeah, let's try the painting. So I figured out a new system for painting things now, and it's where I start with the entire frame and then go over it and see if there are any details that can be improved. I found this actually helps quite a lot. So we want to go with something that looks kind of like a fucking wasp. This is the impression I've gotten. We go main black to begin with. We're gonna want a shade of yellow, a nice bright yellow. And then, Is it just me, or does the orange actually work here? Especially when you think, maybe. That's not set in stone yet, but, you know, considering ideas. And then that can remain black. Yes, that would be a good shout for that. Okay. I think a nice vibrant red for the lighting would help. I don't know if I like that orange or not. I don't know if that helps. Maybe a blue? I like this in the idea of making it stand out. It's distinctive. I feel like I'm the only one who's gonna like this, but I like it. I like the look of this. I don't know why exactly. I'm not sure what about it that I actually like, but I really like it. But I'm scared to go on something like where I'm like, I like it because I kind of like it. And if it's not exactly what the client asked for, you know? And they're like, well, I don't fucking like it. It would have been nice if you'd actually stuck to the fucking blueprint, bruv. No, I'm sorry. Now, what effect could weathering perhaps have on this thing? Oh. Let's go for all our options, perhaps. I think the black weathering the black weathering does a lot for this. Oh, it does a lot for oh my god, it makes it look like a fucking wasp. I'm just going through them. That's a really cool one. I'm just going through them, but I think we have a winner. I think heavy black weathering. Oh, that works. Call me crazy. I think that works. Now I want to have a look at this and see what effect this will have. We want that dark at the very least. It's, you know. Want that light. I'd say we probably want this to be dark because it's kind of... Yeah, I'm feeling it. So I haven't talked about anything while I've been doing this because I've been so focused on trying to make it work. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Armored Core again recently because I want to unlock more parts so that these Mech Locker sessions can actually be as, you know, have all the potential parts we could possibly have to play with, like, so that we can actually we can build anything we want, rather than me being like, well, I would make you this mech, but I haven't unlocked the parts, so I guess we're gonna work with nothing. So, yeah, no, and I've been having fun with it. I've been making my way through New Game Plus, and oh boy, is New Game Plus interesting. Like, you know, surprisingly interesting, actually. There's a lot going on there. Including where I am now, and I won't give any details on what the context is for it, but I'm currently in a mission where I have to defeat, at the same time, I have to fight three ACs at once. 3 ACs simultaneously, and let me tell you, without spoiling who they are or what their purpose is or what have you, they're not pushovers rough, extremely rough, and it's interesting because, like, when I played the game, first playthrough, you know, just regular new game as it were, the game didn't exactly hold my hand, right? It wasn't particularly merciful, in any respects. It was incredibly rough, and it continues to be incredibly rough in New Game Plus, and will continue to be incredibly rough, I think, throughout the rest of New Game Plus, and then New Game Plus Plus, which I need to do as well. But it is also really cool and really fun, and the mission is really hype, and like, it is possible to defeat 3 other ACs by yourself, and I've almost done it. I've come very close, and nothing feels better than that. Feels amazing to have achieved that, actually. This game's fucking rad. The adrenaline is real when you're in a close fight. But, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe I've made the Hornet. What do you think? I quite like it. I think this is one of our more distinctive designs. I think this strays a bit away from what you might normally expect. You know, it's a little less basic, it's a little more advanced, which is funny because if you look at the color fucking things over on the left, it's all like uniform, so it's not as if I've gone that crazy with it, but yeah, nah. I would put decals on it, but I'm not a huge fan of decals. I think they have to be done properly or they look very silly. And I honestly think this is fine the way it is. Like, trying to put a decal on it, I think would be like polishing a turd. It's perfectly fine. So, AP is quite low. That's our armor points. That's our health. Defensive performance and attitude stability are fairly standard. Boost speed is a little low, but that's made up for by having reverse jointed legs, so we can jump around, we can move very quickly. So they mentioned that they wanted the combat style to be like a glass cannon, moving quickly to advantageous positions. This is tricky in AC versus AC combat because there's nothing to distract the enemy from you, and they can keep up with you, as it were. But I think it could work. And to this end, we'll give it a try. I'll tell you what, we'll give it a proper try and go for a rank 5 arena fight. I think Hornet could be really effective. I think if this thing's used properly, it could be really effective. It might require a tweak or two. On how I've built it. I'm not sure how effective Ransetsu's going to be. Now, this particular mech has a lot of firepower. So, timing is going to be our greatest weapon here. We want to get the diffuser rail cannon off. We do. We need to choose when to do that. Because if we pick poorly, she will demolish us, straight up. Hey, that's pretty cool. Alright. Okay, so I need to fucking remember. Okay, Q is the railgun. Let's charge it up, perhaps. There you are. Oh yeah, oh no, oh no. I pressed the wrong button. I did press the wrong button. I did. Charge up another one. Fuck, I'm gonna need to get closer than that. Alright, it's fine. Gone. Nope, that failed. Okay, yeah, this can definitely work. I just need to be better with it. Nope, no good. I tried to go for a charged hit. It did not work. Get the drones going, perhaps. Okay, go for him. I'm not out of it yet. I ran out of energy. I couldn't dash anymore. Okay. I made some poor plays. I reckon I can make that work. It may require a bit more finesse on the pilot's behalf to actually get the most out of this, because timing is fucking crucial. Timing and multitasking management of your different parts as well. You need to be jumping, you need to be dashing, you need to be charging that diffused laser cannon. And preferably, you want to keep firing at them with the Ransetsu, and also you need to activate the drones every now and then. Now I know Qubit specified, like, if the drones are passive, they wanted them for the purpose in which they are here. But, I still think they're actually a very good addition to this, if used correctly. Keep the drones on them, we want to keep the strain up. And then keep this going. There we go. That damaged their pulse shield. This helps. It helps us play. That was very good. Yes, Nappa, that was a very good kick. Oh, that went well. That went well. We utilised a bit of our melee capabilities. Oh, fuck, that would have been a great kick. Vegeta would have loved it. But we are winning the fight, it's worth mentioning, quite handily as well. Good, that was a big hit. Can we get him with the big finish? Yeah! Very good. Okay, yeah, the design works.
Target destroyed.
It can take an AC one-on-one and do relatively well. I want to try and fight a different kind of AC because I want to see how it adapts to different kinds of ACs. Because Umbrox is very ranged focus. You know, she focuses entirely on firepower. And more to the point, she focuses on, like, single-shot high-damage weaponry, which means if you can just keep an eye on her and listen to the warning bleeps in your fucking headset, you know when to dodge her. She's not a particularly difficult person to fight per se, but she can catch you out. We'll try Honest Brute and see how this goes. And then I want to try out a mission and see how this thing works on long-form combat missions against multiple shitty targets. I think the combination of the Ransetsu and the diffused laser cannon will actually work quite well for that, but we'll want to save the drones for AC fights. I find drones in this game to be very tepid. They don't do a lot, really. Like, I don't know, they just don't do a lot of damage. I think their main purpose is to just apply pressure and to strain an enemy's attitude stability, but they're a little lacking, and it feels like they're more effective when used on you, which is probably just my bad perspective of things. But I think they're useful to have, it's just I think there are more useful things to have. But then again, this game, a big part of it is to be like, what do you want? What do you want your mech to be? Whatever you want it to be is correct, as long as you can make it work, anyway. So, yeah, this thing uses a lot of fire, which is a little spooky, and this terrain is fucking awful. Who made this place? That did land a hit. Very good. I'm going in. Okay, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. Oh, no. That was extremely bad. Come on. Yes. Oh, so close. Oh, very close. Very, very close. It's definitely possible to deal with more melee-focused targets. And this isn't even actually a melee-focused target. It's a close-quarters combat target, which is actually different. My warnings are close-quarters combat-oriented with a lean towards folks. But close CQC here basically meaning short range, right? Pistols, shotguns, flamethrowers in this guy's case. We can make that work. He's a little more dodgy than most of the people we're up against. And on top of that, like I said, the terrain here is disgusting. I don't know where he's gone. And that fucking assault armor is a huge problem. Well, at least he fumbled. Oh. Ow. No. No follow-up for you. That's not good. That helped. 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 There we go, just about. I stopped stalking because I was so desperate to win that at the end there. It can be... I mean, this isn't, you know, unusual for any mech really, but trying to charge the diffuse cannon whilst also dodging, while also firing, whilst also activating the drones can be quite difficult. Y'all will notice I just mostly dashed in one direction for a lot of that, because trying to do that with my fingers and talk, by the way, I'm presenting a show, is hard. Very hard. If you actually were in your own time and can sit here and focus and not also talk to someone at the same time, that's probably a lot more manageable. But it works. you know what? If I could beat something on camera, that's a good sign of its usability because I'm having to present the show at the same time. So, yeah, no, that helps a lot, actually. That's a good indicator. Let's pick a solid mission for demonstrating this thing's capabilities. This would be a good test in multiple ways, but it does contain spoilers for this game. Spoilers for, like, the near end of Chapter 3. So, if you're planning on playing this game yourself and you haven't done so yet, maybe give it a miss, but this is a very good test for what we're looking for. If you care about the story and you don't want to be spoiled, then perhaps duck out now. But for those of you who do duck out now, I'd say the Hornet's very good, you should totally try it. Okay, let's give this a go. Oh, I'm boiling. It's cooled down recently, but it's still agonizingly hot around here. It's September. Why is it still hot? Like, if it's still warm, I get it. You know, September is barely out of summer. In fact, the early days of September basically are still summer, but it's not supposed to be hotter in September than it was in August. That makes no fucking sense. Ugh. It'll encourage me to get this mission done quickly and in one try so I can open the window again. Hey. Alright, Hornet, deploy. Let's see what we got. Now, the Ransetsu is fantastic for dealing with small targets. I say this as it misses multiple shots, but hey, oh my god, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, the mobility is entirely necessary. And that needs to be closer. I wonder actually if the diffusion cannon was a good idea, because if it's not charged up, it has like no range.
Target for termination confirmed.
Okay, hey buddy, how's it going? Oh, that dealt with him. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. This thing is very fragile. Fuck off, will you? Oh my god, that's not good that I've had my terminal armor activated this early. That's not a good sign. Okay. This mech definitely requires some finesse and some manual control. You know, it really requires you to be, what's the term I'm looking for? Good at the game. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it actually requires you to get good. I don't like being good. I prefer to be shit.
Estimated threat range 3 to 4. Contain the target.
We're dealing, we're coping. Oh my god, fuck off. No, go away. There it is. There we go. Dealt with. Moving on.
Hey, buddy.
I should make use of my jumps more often, honestly. Problem is, I'm used to using this combat style at the moment with a very heavy mech, which means a lot of the time some of this damage is fairly superficial and I can shrug it off. With this thing, no damage is superficial. You cannot shrug off any damage whatsoever. You have to avoid everything you can. Which is tricky when you're also trying to line up a laser cannon shot, but, you know, that's the mech. This guy's got a shield. Not anymore. Not good. Not good. That was lucky. There we go. Oh god, we take so much damage every time we get shot. Now this is quite a dangerous mission. You know, this is a fairly, I mean, it's somewhat hectic. Honestly, I've dealt with this mission pretty easily multiple times. I think it's just, perhaps this mech isn't particularly well suited for it. This is better suited for, I don't know what, I'm not sure. I can't think specifically what it's better suited towards at the moment, but this has a particular utility, and a mission like this, like a heavy assault mission, is not what this was made for. This is for, like, getting the drop on people. I'd actually say, you know, at the start I said I wasn't sure if this would deal very well with ACs, but I actually think that might be more what it's made for. I don't know. I made it, and I don't even know what it's made for. I just made it. I just make things, and I'm like, well, God knows what you'd use this for, but it's mine. I built it.
Don't expect the comms blackout to hold for long.
Someone over there is trying to shoot at me. I don't like it. I wish people would stop trying to shoot at me. Hey-ya!
Code 5. Intruder detected. Level 4.
God, even those shitty little things can do a lot of damage if given the opportunity. This thing is very light. Too light, you might even say. Even my warning, which is a fairly light mech, can take punishment better than this. Now, is this the point? Yes, absolutely it is. Took care of him. Alright, that's good. Ugh. I just need to get up there and destroy your ship, please. No.
Open fire. Keep the target away.
Just destroy it. Okay, we're good.
Looks like you got them all, 16.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did do that. I got all the credits. Fuck.
Bad news. PCA's external comms are back on.
Ah, good. Wasn't that your job?
They've got warships heading your way. Hold out until I reach
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm actually literally dripping sweat because of how high it is. I would really love to finish this mission soon. Down you go. I like the mech, I have to say. I enjoy playing it, but it is tricky to try and charge up that diffusion cannon shot whilst also dodging effectively. When I'm playing as the as my HA, which has a similar setup. Yeah, it does have a similar setup. Yeah, no, it's actually easier in my HA because I have a linear rifle equipped, and holding down to charge with the mouse button is a lot easier than holding down to charge Q while also trying to move with the same hand, you know? Like if you can imagine the layout on a keyboard and your hand's trying to do it. Hold down Q while also repeatedly pressing shift and using WASD.
Target for termination.
And hold down Q for like, I want to say a solid 5 seconds. It's not impossible by any stretch. I'm sure many people can do it, but it's kind of awkward. It is a little awkward. Definitely doable, but it would take a lot of practice. Practice I haven't had, hence why I've been fucking this up so badly. The aerial capabilities are a little lacking. Which is funny because it's on reverse jointed legs, so you think getting height would be the least of its issues, but here we are. Took care of him, good. What if I can nail him with this? Oh yeah, oh he's fucking dead. He's so dead that his future generations felt it and also died at the same time. The dagger is a good choice. Having something to go into melee with offers this thing a lot of versatility. You should really, like, not maybe should, but it is very helpful to always have a melee option. Not all of my mechs have melee options, because, you know, sometimes you just rather focus on firepower, and that's probably a good choice to make, but for true versatility, you do want a melee option a lot of the time. Or you run out of ammo and the game forces you to have a melee option. Oh my god, it's going so fast I can't keep up. Ah, it's an issue. There we go, that one's dead. Moving on. I just need my energy back. Okay. Everything's fine. This next part will be a bit of a test. No. Stop. Please. Hello. No. Ow. I choose to ignore this. There we go, dealt with you. Funny fact, if you stand under that ship, you die. You straight up die. Like, I had terminal armor and the game freaked out because it was supposed to insta-kill me, and then it didn't, and then it did. Like, you don't stand under those if you blow them up. It's a bad idea.
Code 1-5. Target for termination sighted. Time to pay the piper.
Looks like we've got high-ranking PCA officers.
It's my buddy. We're buddies. In tiny mechs.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Tiny mech buddies.
I've got your back, buddy. Hope you've got mine.
I'm gonna need you to have my back quite a lot on this, as I'm still figuring out how to use this thing.
Send me what you've got on the target.
Your good time to charge this up. Oh yeah, it was a direct hit. Get fucked, loser. Managed to land a hit. It's good. It's good. It's good. Oh, yes, it was good. I'm taking a lot of hits, though. Oh, yeah, because you're helping out, aren't you, you fucking fuck? Ow. No. Ow. No. Ow. No. Nearly. I'm trying, but our fights keep spilling into each other. It's getting a little confusing, you know. I was gonna go for him. There we go, that'll help a lot. Totally worth it. Oh, shit. We can kind of hang back a little bit, which is kind of the intent of this model to begin with. Ah, so close. Managed to capitalize on him a little bit. Apply pressure, you know. My finger slipped off of Q. There we go, that did him. Not too bad, not too bad. This mech requires concentration. And it requires practice. This cat, I'd say, in terms of pilot user friendliness, in terms of ease of use, this is advanced. This is quite hard to use effectively. But I think if you figure out how to use it properly, I think if you get the practice in, this could be exceptionally effective. If you had to fight multiple ACs, I think you would struggle. I think you would really struggle with 2 or more ACs in one fight. One-on-one, I think you'll be alright. One target to focus on, great. You can focus your dodges, you can time your laser cannon shots, you can spam them with drones, you can zip in for melee when the time comes, sting them, if you will. But, oh yeah, there's a worm here, by the way. I don't know where it is. Whatever. But yeah, in terms of, you know, a one-on-one fight, fine. Like, a mission with a more wide-open area, totally. You can pick off, like, generic military hardware and MTs and, like, tetrapods and stuff like that with your guns. I don't think you'd struggle too much. But, a close quarters area like this, CQC is definitely this thing's weakness. Close, compact areas do not play to its strengths. And if you had to fight more than one AC, you'd be in serious trouble. You would be in major trouble. But it's a pretty cool mech. It's a pretty tight design. I really like how it's turned out in terms of looks. I reckon it could be tweaks, perhaps. But I really did do my best to, like, with what limited load capacity and energy I had left over after applying the massive fucking laser cannon, it was tricky. It was quite tricky. There are tweaks you can make. Yeah, we don't need to see this. Mission's over. So, yeah. I quite like the Hornet. As far as it's turned out, I think it's got an interesting design. I think it looks cool. I think it has an interesting fighting style, which, I think it's adaptable as well. I think it's focused on, like, you know, staying back and hitting people with heavy shots, but I think, you know, when you're going up against an AC, you can't afford to stay back because they will close distance. You can only be so quick. A half-decent AC pilot can at least keep pace with you. So you won't have a lot of options to just keep distance between you and them. Plus, if you stagger them, you want to be able to capitalize. And your big fancy railgun will not fire for another like 5 seconds after one massive burst. So if you stagger a target with that and then can't follow up with anything, there's not much point in doing it, really. The drones are alright. Once again, I don't rate drones particularly highly, but I think they're cool, I think they're fun. I've used them a couple times because I like them, not because I think they're good. I honestly think this is a proper nifty looking machine. I rate it. I think it's really hard to play with, but I think it could be rewarding in that respect. Now, if I was to change it to my own specifications, I would honestly get rid of the diffused laser cannon. What I would probably do, actually, is go twin standard laser cannons. Sorry, I should mention, I would have, in the original design, the one I made for Qubit, I would replace the diffused laser cannon with a regular laser cannon for them, because it has more range. I think that makes more sense. But for my own purposes, yes, 2 laser cannons. I'd keep the dagger. That works quite well. And then here, I'd probably get, like... I don't know, maybe a Zimmerman? It would cause an energy issue, though. God, it'd be amazing if we could get a minigun on this thing, but no. Because the way I see it, perhaps a Chang Shen. Because the way I see it, if they get close enough to you that, you know, they're engaging you actively, and you can't currently hit them with a massive blast from your laser cannons, but you've probably hit them with the laser cannons before, so you've done some damage and staggered them a bit, the machine gun could allow you to just chip away at them enough to get them to stagger, and then you could go in for the kill with your knife. Then you back away. Combat kind of resets after someone staggers. Both parties typically tend to back off from each other, and that's when you nail them with another salvo from your laser cannons. This is how I would personally build this if it was like, alright Foreman, here's my idea. Play it the way you want to, though, like take liberties with it. This is probably what I do. But in terms of like actually adhering to the required design, the requested design, laser drone. I think I'd actually keep the Changshen. I think that's a good idea. I think that'd be a good weapon to have. The Ransetsu was cool, but I'm not sure if it was quite effective enough. Just having the ability to hold down right-click and just spray them with bullets would be one less thing to think about in the overall operation of the mech itself. I think that would help. But yeah, that's the Hornet, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? How would you improve it? I think we did alright on terms of the inner workings, but I still need to get used to how slowly this thing recharges. Like, that's the thing that catches me out sometimes. But I think I've kind of been working with similar generator designs in my own playthroughs, and I've kind of been learning how to manage it a bit better. Still a lot of work to do there, though. But yeah, any changes you would make, any ideas you'd have to improve the mech, tell me what you think of the color design, because I actually don't know if this is good or not. I really like it. I think it looks really good, but I'm willing to suspect that I might be a crazy person. So either validate me or confirm that I am a crazy person and tell me what you think of this. But that's all I've got time for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Ethrobin, Linky, Zeon Cedar, Bimblewart, Tum King, Majoko Mime, Adash Sanjeev, Alkir, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, MB Elias, Lord Skullington, Jess Kissy, Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, Monsoon, World, Warmaster Oku, SCP-1068, Namad, and Kenny T800 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. This was a fun one. It was also quite a stressful one, because I was desperately I had to try really hard during combat to make this one work. Not because it's bad, but because it requires a bit more from the pilot than I think we've had so far. The Reverend did require a bit of finesse from the pilot, but I honestly think that came down to my lack of experience with anything other than dual pistol builds, rather than actually requiring a really good pilot. I think that mech works relatively well if you go into it with the right mindset, but I think this thing requires a bit more manual dexterity, a bit more competence, and a bit more experience to truly get the most out of it. But I think it could be very rewarding, and I think it's a sick mech. I think that's a really cool design. Like, I'm really kind of pleased for having made that, and I'm impressed with Qubit for requesting something so cool. So, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Qubit, for commissioning this mech. If you have a commission, or if you have questions you want to ask, post them in the comments, or in the Discord. And whatever happens next time, and I don't remember, whatever the mech is, I hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.